Question 20. What do I have to add to 4.243 to make 6? Now, what we need to realise here is that we actually need to work in reverse. So although it says add, we're going to need to do a subtract. Now, it's for the following reason. So we've got a mystery number that we're trying to find, and we're adding 4.243 to this, and we're going to end up with 6. So mystery number add 4.243 gives us 6. So what we're going to have to do is work in the opposite direction. We're going to have to start with the 6, work in reverse, going backwards. So the opposite of adding 4.243 would be subtracting 4.243. So if we start with 6 and subtract 4.243, we're going to get back to this mystery number here, which is the bit that it's asking for. So that's what we've got to do. So if we start with our 6, and remember 6 is the same as 6.0, I'm actually going to put a couple of decimal points in there first, because the other number is a 3-digit decimal. So we've got 6.0, take away 4.243, and whatever's left is going to be the mystery number that we are actually adding to 4.243 to make the 6. So here we go. Now remember, you've got some empty gaps here. So empty gaps, when you're doing adding and subtracting column methods, you can just fill in with zeros. So 6.0 is the same as 6.000, like that. And now we can make a start on our subtraction. So 0 take away 3, we can't do. So if there's more on the floor, you borrow from next door. So more on the floor just means if the bottom digit is more than the top digit, you borrow from next door. Now you can't borrow from 0 because there's nothing there to borrow from. So you go next door again. You can't borrow from this 0 because there's nothing there to borrow from. So you go next door again. If you're trying to borrow from 0 and you can't do it, you just go to the next column along, and you keep going to the next column until there is something to borrow from. Now we can borrow from a 6. So we're borrowing 1 and that becomes a 5. And the one we borrowed, we can't carry across to make the next 0 into 10. But this is still no use to us because we can't do this 0 take away 3 all the way over on the end column. So now we borrow from the 10 and make that a 9. And the one we've borrowed, transfer across to make this into 10. But this is still no use. We still can't do 0 take away 3. So we borrow from the 10, it becomes a 9. And the one we've just borrowed makes this 0 into 10. And now we can do it. 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 4 is 5. 9 take away 2 is 7. And 5 take away 4 is 1. Now, the only thing that's missing is 1.7, the decimal point, to make it 1.757. So the final answer is 1.757. Now, what we should do really is just perform a quick check to make sure it works. Now, if we're saying that it's 1.757, if we were to do a column method and add the original number back to the 1.757, what we should get is it should get us back to 6. Now I'm just running out of squares on the side here, so apologies for that. So let's see if this gets us back to 6. If it does, we know we're correct. 3 add 7 is 10. 0 in, carry the 1. 4 add 5 is 9, plus the 1 is 10 again. 0 in, carry the 1. 2 add 7 is 9, plus the 1 I've just carried is 10 again. 0 in, carry the 1. And then 4 plus 1 is 5, plus this one we've just carried is 6. So that makes 6. And obviously it's not 6,000 because we've got these decimal points here. So we put the decimal point in, and it does indeed get us back to 6.000. So the final answer is 1.757.